The second selection in the 2020 NHL Draft will be made by Vice President and General Manager of the Los Angeles Kings, Rob Blake.
The Los Angeles Kings are proud to select with the second pick in the 2020 NHL Draft from Sudbury Wolves of the Ontario Hockey League, Quinton Byfield.
So the celebration on. Quinton Byfield and his family. He's the #2 overall pick. He's young, he's big, he's fast, he's skilled, and he is now the highest drafted black player in the history of the NHL. It's something that he says he embraces. He wants to be a role model, wants to pave the way for other young black players, says this game is for everyone. Kings fans, they should be excited because, you know, Craig, as you alluded to, you made the comparison to Anze Kopitar. Right now, as we watch Quinton Byfield, he's taking the suit jacket off and he's putting that Kings jersey on. You have to believe Kings fans, very exciting, big, fast, talented, and we go back, take me a little bit deeper into that comparison, Kopitar-Byfield.
Well, they've watched Anze Kopitar be a star for the LA Kings, lead them to Stanley Cups, and be one of the very best players all around in the National Hockey League. And that's what I see in Quinton Byfield. He wants to make an impact on every square inch of ice. And it took Anze Kopitar a little bit of time to get comfortable with imposing himself. And once he did become comfortable, he was a really difficult player to handle one-on-one. I feel the same way about Quinton Byfield. Once he gets comfortable imposing himself, he will be more than a handful. And for LA Kings fans, you watch the progression of Anze Kopitar. What an unbelievable opportunity for the young Quinton Byfield to learn under the guiding hand of one of the great centers in the league over the last 10 years in Anze Kopitar.
Pierre, at this point, we're almost a half an hour into the draft coverage, and we have not used the phrase tremendous upside yet. We have to use that phrase, I think, by law in a draft. You have to. But it really applies to this guy.
There's no question about it. Remember, Anze Kopitar was the 11th pick overall in the 05 draft. This is a player that's going to be the second, or is the second overall pick when you talk about Quinton Byfield. Now, some people are going to say he's a little bit slow to the party because of what happened at the World Junior this year for Canada, where he was not very successful. All that being said, I'll take you back to the 2013 World Junior, where a guy by the name of Nathan McKinnon in 6 games had 0 goals for Canada. This is a player that eventually became a dominant player in the National Hockey League. I think Quinton Byfield will do very much the same thing. He's an outstanding player. I've been watching him since he was a minor midget, so I know his body of work really well. Tremendous talent.
So Quinton Byfield to the LA Kings. Bob, take me inside the person and the player that they're getting.
Well, Quinton Byfield's from Newmarket, Ontario. So is Connor McDavid. Quinton Byfield is represented by agent Jeff Jackson of the Wasserman Orr Hockey Group. So is Connor McDavid. Quinton Byfield played his minor hockey with the York Simcoe Express. Well, so did Connor McDavid. Now, he's not Connor McDavid, and he's not Eric Lindros either, although when you see the physical dimension that he's got, that sort of man amongst boys presence in the Ontario Hockey League, you could be forgiven for thinking that. He's not as physically punishing as Eric Lindros at all, but he can use his size to dominate his peer group with his feet and his hands. But there's also a fun factor to this guy, and we saw him earlier with the double-breasted white jacket that he took off to put on. That's from the designer Aleventi, an Italian designer. He's got his bow tie. He's got more than 30 or 40 in his collection, and I think the folks in LA are going to really get a kick out of the style and the personality of Quinton Byfield as he gets more comfortable on the big stage and starts to express his personality a lot more, because he expresses himself very well on the ice, and I think he's really growing into the fact that he's got a great personality off the ice as well.
I think we should.
I know you're semi-retired. Are you telling us that eventually you're going into, what, fashion reporting? Is that the next step?
For the Today Show.
I'm auditioning for a spot on the red carpet, if we could get that done. And it was worth noting, too, that Tim Stutzel, and I don't know if this, we'll have to find out if this was by accident or not, he's also fashioning the bow tie. So the bow tie is in at the 2020 draft.
Greg, go ahead.
Well, I mean, it's Quinton Byfield. That's what he is. And, you know, Bob just talked about him getting comfortable under the big spotlight. And once he does, and trust me, he will get comfortable, he has a chance to be really impactful. I mean, you use the word tremendous upside, tremendous potential. If you're looking at one player that could end up being the best player from this draft, you're looking at number 55 here on your screen in Quinton Byfield. He has a lot of ability, a lot of talent, and I really believe that he is still scratching the surface of how good he can be, and he's already really good.